I want to talk to you guys about the story of how I landed my dream trick. We're going to start way back in early 2018 where I landed my first ever cork. To land this cork, I actually booked a private lesson with a coach and learned it on accident. This private lesson was to learn a double backflip into the foam pit, which kind of sounds silly now that I think about it. If it wasn't the double backflip, then I wanted to learn a cheat gainer. When I went for the cheat gainer, I accidentally did a cork and nearly landed on my feet. So he told me how to do a cork and then I landed on my feet, and then he told me to do it on the floor. So I did. This trick immediately became my all-time favorite. Fast forward to the summer of 2018. I am now trying to learn a double cork. Obviously, corks came naturally, so I did quickly progress to double, but I also had the means to learn it at this rate. So the only way I knew how to double cork or to try double cork at this time was off the floor to the resi pit. I was not comfortable doing it off of ledges at this point. I just wanted to see if I can get 2 twists before I land instead of 1. So I tried, and this grind took forever. I finally landed one on the floor in the fall of 2019. Immediately, I'm trying to triple. So that winter, I am throwing triples in the gym. At this point, I was comfortable on the ledges to where I can confidently throw one without hitting my head. I should not have done that. My first triple cork attempts off of a ledge were absolutely terrible. I had no technique. I had no awareness. I practically did a one-footed 3 twists to my stomach, but that's fine because you have to learn somehow. The tech came later when it was about a month after that I built that same setup and tried again. After several attempts, I actually landed it. So now in the summer of 2020, in the middle of COVID, I went to Madison with my buddy. He took me to a spot that was perfect to throw a triple cork. I ended up coming to the point of me wanting to throw it, so I did. It took me 8 or 9 tries, but I ended up landing it and it was like a perfect stick, so which made me really happy. Not to mention I was wearing the ugliest shirt on the planet. So now it's time for quad. My journey to quad is super slow. I feel like it could have been done way sooner than it was. Life hits you with things you don't expect and you kind of have to adjust. Shant Jam of 2020, which was in the fall that year because of COVID, that is the first place I threw my quad cork ever without ever trying it. I just kind of knew how to do quad folds from the trampoline. This one took me 15 to 20 tries, but I did land it on the last one exactly like the triple, and it was also a really good landing. At this point, it's very clearly my dream trick, and I was in a rush, so the very next day when the Shant Jam was outside instead of in the gym, I threw it twice and I bodied twice. The first one, I almost broke my foot, and the second one, I almost broke my face. That scared the shit out of me. I think it's that day that pushed me away from quad cork for so long. That and adulting, obviously. 2020, I was 18 at the time. I wanted to move out and go become my own person. That's what I did. I wish I never did. I now had to make a living for myself. Anyway, now it's 2024, and the only time since Shant Jam that I threw a quad cork was at a beach in Sheboygan of 2023. Still felt good after not doing it for so long. That now brings us to Friday, November 15th, when I finally landed my quad cork. So the entire week leading up to this day, I had intended on throwing this quad cork. I had no intentions to land. I was just gonna try my best. The day I woke up to go and do this trick, I stalled for about 3 hours. The only reason I stopped stalling was because my buddy texted me and asked if we were gonna go and hit it today. This guy who texted me is the same guy that taught me my very first cork in 2018. Very full circle. I love this man. I didn't want to leave him hanging. I wanted this trick. I had to face the fear. The first thing I had to do was go to Harbor Freight to get 4 foldable step stools to put under the picnic table that I did it off of. You're not supposed to build your spots in parkour. This was too big, so I don't care. I get there, I'm waiting on my buddy to show up. I'm waiting for 20 minutes. It's probably 52 degrees. I'm low-key cold. I'm shivering. I'm nervous, but he finally shows up. Get it all set up. The first thing I did off of the setup was just a backflip. The second thing I did was a cork, then a double cork, then a triple cork. I did not film any of this. I was way too nervous. I should have. I wish I did. And then it was time to throw the quad. When I am doing these big skills and I'm inside my own head fighting this fear, I do not tell the people who are around me when I'm going to do it. It adds just this touch of pressure that I don't need to worry about. On my 4th triple cork, I got up on the table. I was so scared because I knew I was going to quad. My buddy just thought I was stalling. I stood there. I got this tattoo on my arm that says Philippians 4:13, which is a Bible verse, and it means I can do all things through He he who gives me strength. I got this tattoo because I believe that it helped me beat fear to throw a big trick. This being the scaredest I've been about something in a long time, I stood at the edge of the table. I looked at the landing zone. I put my right hand on my tattoo and I just prayed. I just prayed that I can get this throw in and come out good enough to either do it again or just land it right off the rip and to be done. Well, I did not land it right off the rip. I threw it not once, not twice, not 3 times, but I threw it 4 times. The 4th one, had I landed, would have been chef's kiss. It was a little bit underdone. The 5th one is when I actually landed it. Those of you who have seen that video, you know what this looks like, but what I didn't put in after I celebrated and screamed that I landed it and ran to my buddy who was there and I gave him a big hug. I was walking back to the camera. I fell to my knees and I cried. Then the trick was mine. The reason I wanted to make this video was 1, for myself, sentimental purposes, 2, to kind of show you how I am probably one of the most average people. The only difference is that I had a dream. I relentlessly pursued it. It does not take much except for a daily effort compounded over time. If I can achieve something like this, so can you. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.